Ja, hi, der Jan hier von Music and Stuff. Wir sind hier im Ibanez LA Custom Shop und Master Builder Tak Hosono hat sich netterweise ein bisschen Zeit genommen für ein kleines Interview. Und ja, da er derjenige ist, der hier den Großteil der Holzarbeiten macht, sozusagen die Gitarren von Grund auf baut und designt, ja, hat er bestimmt einiges Interessantes zu erzählen. So, hi Tak, how are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Yeah. So have you been at NAMM show the last days?
I went there Friday all day.
Just to meet some people?
Just say hi to my friends, basically. Yeah, and steal idea from another guitar companies.
Okay. So do they copy your ideas often?
Yeah. I don't know. We always try to come up with some new idea. You know, like different neck shape, different contours, or different bevels, different neck joint, so on.
Yeah. So to go a little back in time, when did you start building guitars?
That was a long time ago. After I finished my college, I come to United States. That was back in 1979. I got a working permit from CBS Fender.
Yeah.
At that time, they call it CBS Fender. Right now it's a Fender, but
Yeah.
CBS Fender, they got me the working visa. And I started working for CBS Fender. And same time, I very much freelance guitar tech kind of a guy in the Hollywood area.
Okay.
That's how I started.
Yeah. And when was your first contact with Ibanez?
First contact made with Ibanez was 1990. I was asked to do a subcontract. USA Customs and USA Masters. They are both made by me.
Okay.
And that's how we start to, make a contact. And I officially joined Ibanez as a manager. That was back in 1997.
Okay. And then since then you are doing all the custom shop stuff?
Yeah, just very much making instruments for our endorsees. Joe, Steve, George Benson, people like that.
Yeah. Sounds like a very cool job.
It's a cool job, all right, but it's very demanding.
Yeah.
You really have to make sure that these artists are satisfied and happy with their instruments. That's a very tough part.
Yeah. Do they sometimes have ideas where you have to say that won't work?
Well, they all have different ideas of how they want their instruments going to be, how they want the sounds, how they want to feel, weight, looks, whatever. So it's very demanding demanding job.
Yeah, but was there like some instrument it was most fun building?
Steve Vai is always very challenging, and it's very fun to work with. Steve is a very nice guy. And good things about Steve or, let's say, Joe Satriani, those two guys, they always know exactly what they want. So they just come to me and this is what I want. Can you do it? And, this doesn't work, this will work, this interesting, so on. And they are very much understandable all the time, and they accept my ideas. And we compromise a bit, and there you go.
Okay. And what would you say from like the raw wood until the complete woodwork is done? How much time do you need normally?
That's depending on what it is. Some instruments are very complex and takes a month after a month to complete. So if somebody asks for a simple RG with different pickup configuration or different bridge or something like that, that'll be quick. But unfortunately, most of the time, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And probably 80 to 90% of the instruments I make in the custom shop is either set-in neck or the neck through.
Yeah.
So it's a hardly a bolt-on stuff. You know, probably the bolt-on stuff is much easier to work with. Unfortunately, it's not that way. So.
And you're also into buying the woods or selecting the woods?
Yeah, we are very picky about buying a material, and I always look for some very cured, very nicely straighter grained wood. It's kind of getting very difficult to find acceptable material these days.
Yeah. But would you say this is a good area in the world to buy guitars because of
Los Angeles is relatively easier, yes, because we have a big port area. So they always, the fresh material coming in.
Yeah.
So in that way, that's fine. But for the musical instruments, especially like a guitar, require a very, very top of the crop kind of material.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part. So I have the supplier that understanding our needs, so they always save some wood for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of difficult.
And are you also into like developing like hardware, like new vibrato systems or machine heads and stuff like that?
Yeah, sometimes I have to. A long time ago, I started working with Fredrik Meshuggah.
Yeah.
He's my very good friend of mine, and we are getting along very well. And one day I had an meeting with Meshuggah guys, and they asking for 8-strings guitar.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago. That was probably 1998, 99. It's a long time ago. And I told Fredrik and Martin that, we have 7 strings, and why you need 8?
Yeah.
Just 1 string different. And Fredrik tried to convince me that, look, it's just not only that, it sounds completely different, this and that. And I said, okay, let's try it. And he asked, at that time he was using Ibanez 7620 or something like that. And I said, okay, just based on this guitar, and what scale you want? And they want let's go with a 30-inch scale, something ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I very much created RG with 8 strings on it and a 30-inch scale. And the other one was probably that was like a 29.5-inch scale, something like that. And I had to come up with a bridge because at that time no one has the 8 strings bridge.
Yeah.
A long time ago. So I don't know what to do. And Fredrik also said, I got to have a tremolo. I said to Fredrik, you gotta be kidding me. He said, no, I gotta have a tremolo. I said, okay. So I was singing. And finally came up with the idea that we have a 6-string edge tremolo, cuts in half, and bolted together, and make 8 strings. And shimmed up all the saddles to match the fingerboard radius. And I finally came up with the design that I very much handmade it.
Yeah.
And give it to the Fredrik and go, oh, Tak, I need a piezo. I said, I'm going to kill you. But I managed to put piezo saddles on them.
Yeah.
That's how it's began. And later on, that's become their signature model. And we released the Ibanez 2228 in, that was the 2005, 6, something like that. Then we as a first major manufacturer to release the 8 strings to the public. Yeah. After that, it's like everybody followed.
Yeah. But are you now, when you now see like an M8M signature model, are you remembering always when you see it how it was back then?
Yeah, well, I keep all the record of each instrument. So if Fredrik asks next one, then I could be able to do so.
Yeah. And what were your thoughts when, like, first ideas came up about 9-string guitars?
9 strings are done by the Japan, Hoshirogaki people.
Yeah.
So I got nothing to do with that.
Yeah. But would you say there's a natural edge when it doesn't make any sense anymore?
No. I'm very, I try to be open-minded. So 9 strings, whatever, you know. But Fredrik he's really taught me that, you go with some new ideas, even though it sounds a little crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but as you said before, the 8-string like movement is very successful. So there might be some good ideas.
That was kind of surprise to me. Yeah. I couldn't believe that the 8 strings just exploded like that, suddenly like that.
Yeah.
So that was a lot to do with Fredrik. It's not me.
Yeah.
And the Meshuggah guys.
But even the 29.4 inch scale, it plays very comfortable.
Yeah, he handles very well. I can't play it like that, that. They do it anyways, but.
Yeah. And if you would build like a guitar for you, what would it look like?
I made all kind of a crazy guitar for myself, yes.
Okay.
Some of them are very politically incorrect, and I can't really tell you.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. So.
Okay. So more traditional like, or?
Yeah, I like the jazz guitar stuff. So I made myself a couple jazz guitars.
Okay.
But I also like some crazy instruments like the V, 8 strings, stuff like that.
Yeah. And like how many instruments can you make in like 1 year?
For here?
Yeah.
Like I said, that was depending on what it is. You know, if somebody asks very complex instruments every time, then production fee goes down because it takes more time to make each one of those. So that depends. But let's say someone asks for just a simple RG all the time, and if that is the all we have to do, then probably I can do about 10 guitars per month.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it's not like that.
Okay. And I guess with all the artists you're working with, you must often see instruments you've made on television and in magazines and stuff like that. How does that feel when you see that your work is used worldwide on big stages?
Yeah, I appreciate it always, And that was the best part.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for all the information.
You are very
welcome. It was really interesting to see how you're working here, and I guess our readers will think it's also very interesting.
Thank you.
Because there are so much rumors and like a hype with the Ibanez LA Custom Shop, and that's also a compliment for your work.
Thank you.
And the other guys that are working here.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.